rivalry become a feud. In Shakespeare's Romeo and Juliet, young love was destroyed over a bitter family dispute. And in 1800s America, the Hatfields and McCoys played out the ultimate family feud. Hatfields and McCoys, and over the last 100 years, the Yankees and Red Sox. It's the Yankees taking the gamble on Mr. Ruth, not I.
It's the Yankees' 16th flag winner in their glorious history. How about that? And they have a right couple of the Yankees, and there they go again. Things have gotten out of hand here at Yankee Stadium. Deep to left. Yastrzemski will not get it.
It's 26 World Championships to 0 since the Yankees took that big gamble. So this hasn't gone well since that deal went down.
Oh, my goodness. Don Zimmer and Pedro Martinez. Oh, that's all.
Number 13, Alex Rodriguez of the New York Yankees.
Pac-Man gobbling up all the talent that he can. That's why they're the evil empire.
Rivalry, a feud, above. Two trains on the collision course, ready to take the field in the game's greatest rivalry. Next, only on Fox.
Can't we all just get along? Thank you, Don Zimmer. It's a chilly April night, and they're ready on Yankee Way here in Boston.
Red Sox, baby! Go Red Sox!
Tonight on Fox, not only do the New York Yankees and Boston Red Sox come together, but New York Yankee fans and Boston Red Sox fans come together. We are glad to be with you from Fenway Park. It's the Yankees and Red Sox, and tonight's special is brought to you by Taco Bell. Think outside the bun. And now welcome to the broadcast booth, everybody. I'm Joe Buck. Tim McCarver in just a moment. 6 months ago to the day, that's the last time these two teams met, Game 7 of the ALCS. And now as we roll into April, early months of the season, we look at this series, and there's been so much buildup, so much intensity. The fans are ready for this. It speaks well for this rivalry, and there are going to be a lot of new faces introduced to this thing tonight.
Well, the odd thing about the offseason was normally if you're a winning team, as the Red Sox and Yankees were last year, you'd think, hey, we'll stand pat. But of the 50 roster spots, there were 20 changes, most notably Curt Schilling and Keith Foulke with the Red Sox, and then with the Yankees, Gary Sheffield, Javier Vazquez will be the pitcher tonight. Kevin Brown, and who's that guy who switched from short to third?
He almost was with Boston. I think he's pretty good.
Yeah,
and moments ago, he was sitting by with Kenny Albert. Kenny?
Thanks, Joe. Alex, you're moments away from your first taste of Yankees Red Sox during the regular season. What's going through your mind?
Well, I'm excited. It's another game for me. It's business as usual. It's great to jump in the middle of such a great, rich tradition of baseball. But for us, it's April 16th, and we're trying to kind of set the tone for the rest of the year.
Were there times during the offseason where you envisioned yourself in a Boston Red Sox jersey?
Well, there's no question. I mean, the negotiations got to a point where they were very intense, and I couldn't be happier with the way things turned out, and you give a lot of credit to the boss for making this happen, and in such a quick matter.
Thanks, Alex. Have fun tonight.
Thank you.
Joe, back to you.
All right, Kenny, thank you. Well, in my opinion, whether it was New York or Boston or L.A. or Chicago or Atlanta, baseball is better off with Alex Rodriguez right in the middle. Center stage, he is here tonight. So are the New York Yankees taking on the Boston Red Sox. This rivalry renewed tonight.
Every year it seems like the intensity has picked up a little bit. We have a great team, and I think we have a great team as well.
Park in Boston. We have been getting ready for this game. We've been thinking about and talking about this game for so long, and the game's finally here. The starting lineup for the New York Yankees is brought to you by Budweiser. They lead it off with Kenny Lofton, then Derek Jeter. Alex Rodriguez, who almost became a member of this Boston team, is hitting third. Then Giambi, Sheffield, Posada, Matsui. The DH is Bernie Williams batting eighth, and Enrique Wilson is bringing up the rear, batting ninth at second base. And you look at the numbers as a starter and a reliever for Tim Wakefield in the ALCS, and it's very easy to forget that had he gotten more outs, he gave up that 11th inning home run to Aaron Boone, might have gotten the victory in Game 7. He might have been the MVP of that series. I mean, he put them in a position in Game 7 to lose that thing in New York. Here's Kenny Lofton first up. And a strike on the outside corner. And Tim, isn't it fitting that the guy who threw the last pitch to the Yankees for Boston last year throws the first pitch to the Yankees in this 4-game series?
As Aaron Boone watches comfortably at home in Southern California.
We hope comfortably.
We do hope comfortably.
Joe Torre has re-upped, signed a 3-year contract extension at the low rate of $19.2 million. So he is locked in, and right now everything is all peachy in Yankee land. Here's a 1-2 pitch right up the middle. To his left, Pokey Reese, a lot of range. Got him to start the night. No Nomar Garciaparra. He's out injured, and Pokey Reese made a heck of a play.
Pokey Reese, a winner of the Gold Glove at second base in 1999 and 2000, with the sparkling play to open this season series against these two teams.
Take a look at the defense for the Red Sox, because Reese is at short with Nomar out with the Achilles tendon problem. Hopefully for the Red Sox out until just late April, if not early May. Mark Bellhorn gets the start at second base. Here's Jeter. Swings through a knuckleball, strike one. Alex Rodriguez waiting on deck. With the bases empty and one down, Jeter pops it up. Mountain Man in center field is waiting for it. 2 out. And let's hear how they welcome Alex Rodriguez.
Joe Torre had an interesting comment about the booing here, saying that they're booing the uniform and not the guy in it.
Strike one.
Good knuckleball from Wakefield.
Wide throw, but that was quick and easy for Tim Wakefield. Bottom of the first inning. Crowd loves it already. Red Sox come to bat. No score. Baseball on Fox is presented by Taco Bell. Think outside the bun. Take a look at the Boston Red Sox lineup to be faced by Javier Vazquez, a very good young right-hander. And the lineup brought to you by Bud Light. Johnny Damon will lead off in center field. Billy Miller bats second and third. And David Ortiz is at first. Ramirez, Millar, Burks is back. Mark Bellhorn batting seventh. Doug Mirabelli catches the knuckleballer. And Pokey Reese is batting in the number 9 spot. People don't realize how good Javier Vazquez is. He is still young, 27 years old. He has made a start here, pitched well, got a loss. That's while with Montreal back in July of 2000. One ball, one strike.
I think as much as Javier Vazquez's stuff, people talk about his presence on the mound. He proved that as the opening day pitcher for Mel Stottlemyre, the pitching coach of the Yankees, and Joe Torre against the Chicago White Sox, winning, working 8 innings.
2 balls and a strike. For a guy like Vazquez, he doesn't strike you as a huge guy. He's listed at 6'2", 205, but he is an innings eater. 230 innings pitched last year and over 200 the last 4 years. The 2-1 to Damon. That's backing out of play. Obviously, when Curt Schilling was out there to be had, the Yankees were courting him. George Steinbrenner wanted the name Schilling in Yankee pinstripes. That didn't happen. But to me, the Yankees got somebody for now and somebody for the next handful of years that should only get better. As Damon slapping at it, still 2 balls, 2 strikes.
That is an excellent point. And talking about a guy who does the bulwark of the pitching, Vazquez threw more pitches last year than any other National League pitcher. 3,741 pitches. He is a horse.
Giambi, I think he thought he had it. And then it wasn't in his glove, and Damon is on to start the night for Boston.
Jason Giambi was not the first baseman all of last year. He was a DH. He just flat out misplays this ball. That is an error all the way on Giambi. Like it may have hit the tips of his right hand instead of using the glove. But I agree with you. He took one step toward first as though he had the ball in his glove.
So Giambi makes his first error of the season. And Boston has Damon on for the number 2 hitter, Bill Miller. Off to a slow start. And Vazquez has to pitch around a first inning error. Checks on a man, Johnny Damon, who has the most stolen bases in the American League since 1999. What a great first year in a Red Sox uniform last year for Bill Miller. The batting champ waits and takes on the inside corner from Vazquez, strike one.
Over the weekend against the Toronto Blue Jays, Johnny Damon hammered a ball off his right knee. He missed a game, so that's going to slow him down somewhat at first base. Not as much of a threat to run as he normally would be.
Tell you what else will slow him down, the drag with all that hair.
Mountain man, huh?
That's hammered foul. Somebody who just paid a lot of money for a seat had to dive out of the way. I mean, you know, that's got to slow you down some. If it ever gets really quiet in here, you can actually hear his beard grow. No balls, 2 strikes.
Hear the hair flapping.
Here comes an 0-2 pitch from Vazquez. Hit well into right field. Back is Sheffield. 2-0 Boston. That's a bad combination for New York. An error followed by a home run and a first inning 2-0 lead. Now David Ortiz, the first baseman tonight, takes strike one.
Vazquez gave up 28 home runs for Montreal last year. It looked like he tried to come inside to Bill Miller, and the ball tailed back over the fat part of the plate, fat part of the bat. 2-0 Red Sox.
Well, Nick Johnson is no longer with the New York Yankees. Traded in the deal to get Javier Vazquez. Giambi playing first base tonight. Makes the error on the first ball hit to him by Johnny Damon, and a home run follows. They have Tony Clark, who can play some first base, and they are anxiously awaiting the arrival of Travis Lee, who's on his way back on an injury rehab. That is a fastball powdered past Ortiz, 1 out. One down for Vazquez, and Manny Ramirez will walk in. Take a look at the defense behind Javier Vazquez. The Yankees just committed their 8th error of the season. And so far, 25 chances at his new position, third base for A-Rod, no errors. And it just points how badly he wanted to get out of Texas. Was willing to change positions. Really, with the offensive production and the way he plays shortstop, I think you put the entire package together for Alex Rodriguez, and there's no question as to why people regard him as the best player in the game of baseball. Now over at third base in the 0-1 pitch. A little bit wide, a ball and a strike.
When Aaron Boone hit the 11th inning home run against Tim Wakefield last year at Yankee Stadium, Alex Rodriguez was watching in his home in Miami. He jumped up and he said, "That's it. Next year I'm playing for Boston or New York." And here he is in a Yankee road uniform.
And just to go through the story, not to keep driving at you with the story, but it's early and a lot of people might not be aware. They had a deal for the most part done to send Alex Rodriguez here to Boston, but there was a hang-up of about $12 million on the Red Sox part that they were unwilling to part with to make the deal happen. Alex Rodriguez was willing to give back about $28 million to become a member of this Boston team, and that really, Tim, set off the domino effect where Manny Ramirez was headed out of town and obviously Nomar Garciaparra. And then when the deal fell through, Manny Ramirez stays, Nomar Garciaparra stays, and it's got to be at the very least awkward the part of this organization to welcome these guys back. That's down the right field line in trouble. Sheffield in the corner. It is a fair ball and a home run. Home run, Manny Ramirez, who's still running hard, and it's 3-0 Boston in the first.
I think you may have an argument right here. Posada is saying no, the ball was certainly fair. Posada running down the right field line. Derek Jeter, the captain of the Yankees, they're converging toward the center of the field. And now home plate umpire Mike Everett is explaining the ball curving, twisting toward the stands, and it was a home run. Or no, it wasn't either. It's off the green padding. It should have been a triple and not a home run. It did not appear that a fan interfered with that ball.
Nobody from the Yankee bench got up to argue. And we look at it one more time, the top of that padding, and it came back into the field of play.
Yeah.
But called a home run for Manny Ramirez as Millar digs in and is looking at a 2-0 count.
Does that take you back to last October in Wrigley Field at all?
Oh.
Moises Alou.
Here's a 2-0. That's hammered into left field and off the monster. Millar with a roll of the wrists, and he's got a long, loud single. Told you Javier Vazquez was good.
There have been 3 rockets hit here in the first inning. The one by Miller, and then the opposite field home run by Manny Ramirez, and this was the hardest of the 3. So hard that Millar is held to a single.
So Vazquez, who has given up home runs on an 0-2 pitch in a 1-2 pitch in this inning, is getting the ball up and paying a price to the tune of 3 runs. And there's a man on with 1 out, and Ellis Burks is back with the Red Sox, and he takes the ball. This is a Red Sox team that last year hit as a team .316 here at Fenway Park, and for the year outslugged the 27 Yankees, set a Major League Baseball record in slugging percentage. The count goes to 1 ball, 1 strike.
Looked like a slider, and Ellis Burks swings over it. Slugging percentage, total bases divided by times at bat.
The 1-1. Same pitch, same result. 1 ball, 2 strikes. This Red Sox team playing without not only Nomar Garciaparra, but Trot Nixon, who's out with a mildly herniated disc in his low back. They hope to have both back by early May at the latest. 2-2. But who knows how the Achilles tendon will respond for Nomar, and who knows how a herniated disc will respond for Trot Nixon. It is anybody's guess. Terry Francona, the first second-year manager for the Red Sox. That's grounded sharply. Jeter to second. Nice play for the second out here in a long first inning for Vazquez.
Derek Jeter was cheating toward the middle on the slider away to Burks. Therefore, he had a long way to go. The dive, and from his right knee gets the lead runner. Good play by Jeter.
And I'll tell you, we saw a lot of Yankee games last year, and we didn't see Jeter make a lot of those plays.
That's
he
true.
was bothered by that left shoulder from that opening day accident up in Toronto, and that's maybe a good indication on a chilly night that that left shoulder's feeling better a year later. Down and away for ball one to Mark Bellhorn. Bellhorn has bounced around, and now because of injury has found himself the everyday man at second base, at least at the start of the season. 2-0.
Bobby Doerr, the Hall of Fame second baseman for the Sox, threw out the first pitch along with Johnny Pesky tonight. And the Red Sox, Bobby Doerr, of course, the outstanding second baseman, but the Red Sox of late have had a tough time finding a second baseman. 11 different second basemen over the last 11 years for the Sox.
Bellhorn lays off. It's 3-0. Hard to believe, but of all the guys that could be on the list, Bellhorn is #1 in the American League in walks. And he just picked up his 13th of the season. And Mel Stottlemyre is going to pay an early visit to Javier Vazquez. Vazquez said all the right things leading into this game. Not nervous. I'm not worried. I'm not even that excited. I'm just ready to go. I'm ready to be there. I'm ready to be at Fenway Park and pitch for the Yankees. But nerves or whatever, these pitches are up, and at least for Bellhorn, out of the strike zone.
I think what happened on that last pitch was that Vazquez dropped down. That's when a pitcher leads with his elbow. Good pitching coaches, and certainly Mel Stottlemyre is that, will try to go out there and remind him to stay on top of his pitches. See how he drops down? When you lead with your elbow like that, there's only one place for the ball to go, up and away to left-handed batters, and that's what that one did.
The Yankees have led with their chin in this first inning, and the Red Sox have an early hit. 3 runs in the inning, 2 on with 2 out, and a strike is in on a breaking ball to Doug Mirabelli. Already 30 pitches in this first inning for Javier Vazquez. Mirabelli making the start tonight because the knuckleballer Tim Wakefield is on the mound. He is his catcher. On the inside corner, 0-2.
Doug catching all but 2 innings last year that Wakefield threw.
Your feelings, Tim, on certain guys catching certain pitchers?
I've always thought it was overrated.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Here comes an 0-2 pitch to Mirabelli. 1 ball, 2 strikes. You ever use the caddy word with Mirabelli? I know you love that word so much.
Well, I was called a certain pitcher's caddy for 4 years, the last 4 years of my career. If that was to which you were referring, I know it's said in a lot of affection. Yes.
2 on, 2 out, 1 ball, 2 strikes. Vazquez. Mirabelli right through Jeter. In to score is Burks, and it's 4-0 Boston. Another error, the second of this first inning.
Last night, the Red Sox saw the Baltimore Orioles score 5 runs in the top of the 11th inning with some sloppy play. The Yankees have inherited that sloppy play in the first inning tonight. 2 balls that should have been caught. You've heard of giving a team 4 outs in an inning. The Yankees have already given the Red Sox at least 5.
Vazquez is saying, how about a little help? An error started the trouble. An error has led to an extra run. 2 of the 4 unearned. And now the number 9 man, Pokey Reese, at the plate. 2 on, 2 out. No balls, 2 strikes. If somebody can catch this, a long first inning is over. Lofton. And that does it. 2 unearned runs. 2 home runs. And the Red Sox strike first. Bill Miller with a home run to right. The same for Manny Ramirez. And after 1, 4-0 Red Sox. First pitch here in this second inning is in for a strike. And we're underway with Boston up 4-0. Jason Giambi is first up, committed the error, and there's the shift. The infield defense, Giambi way out in front. 0-2. Giambi, then Sheffield, then Posada.
Flutter ball. Good knuckleball from Wakefield.
In the air to right field. Millar is back, as is Damon, and Millar has to lunge for it at the end. I believe he thought Damon was going to take over in right center. So a little scare for the Red Sox there.
Only Kevin's 4th start in right field. He started 5 other games at first this year. You're right. Not superb defense so far by either team. And a Major League Scouting report, the knuckleball in cold weather. We're going to let Scooter explain it. We're going to explain to you who Scooter is.
Fastball only when he's behind in the count. And even then, it's not a guarantee as Sheffield digs his way in. Off to that 281 start. The 1-0. 2-0. So he's behind in the count.
Behind in the count. 1-0 fastball.
What will it be on 2-0? With 1 out, nobody on. Fouled straight back. 68 miles per hour. Talked to Doug Mirabelli prior to the game, and I know you did. He said a night like this won't affect Tim's knuckleball as opposed to a night where it's more blustery, as opposed to a night where the temperatures are even lower. He said this is nothing. And when you think back to how Wakefield pitched last October on chilly nights, I would tend to believe him. That's fouled outside third. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Actually cooler tonight than it was on October 16th of last year, when it was 61 degrees when Tim Wakefield threw the home run to Aaron Boone.
Typically knuckleball pitchers like the humidity, like the ball to bounce around a little bit. 41 degrees, and that is not usually a recipe for success for a guy who floats it to the plate.
That's true.
Tim's new buddy Scooter's coming up with an explanation for the kids. A pop-up into shallow left center. Manny Ramirez over to get it. 2 out. To teach the kids about a knuckleball. What is it, Scooter? Talk.
Hey, Ben, Scooter here. When I'm a knuckleball, I dance up, down, in, or out. I never know which way I'm going. But neither does the batter. A knuckleball isn't the fastest pitch. It kind of floats through the air. It sure is hard to hit.
So there you go. With apologies to Senior Wences, voiced by a guy who does SpongeBob SquarePants. And we look at the knuckleball that Scooter just explained.
Actually a misnomer. We've explained it several times before. It's thrown with the fingertips and not the knuckles.
Posada hits it to deep center field. Back is Damon, and this ball is gone. Home run Posada, his 5th of the season. And with that, the Yankees are on the board, down by 3. Just to the right of that yellow line that goes up the center field wall at the end of the green monster, and gone for the 5th time this season off the bat of Posada.
Yeah, that gives the second base umpire a view of that line. Anything to the left of it when he's facing it, as the knuckleball hanging there, anything here and over is not a home run, but anything to the right of it is a home run, and that ball clearly to the right of the yellow line.
Wakefield gives up his first home run of the season, and Hideki Matsui off to a very slow start. Has the count even at a ball and a strike. He hit the home run back in Japan when the Yankees opened the season for Major League Baseball against the Tampa Bay Devil Rays. But not only is Hideki Matsui not hitting, this Yankee lineup, the high-powered Yankee lineup, is hitting only .210 as a group, last in the American League.
Believe that?
And Don Mattingly, a .307 career hitter, and a Yankee from '82 to '95, and beloved for his days in Yankee pinstripes, is the hitting coach. Good play by Wakefield. And he throws a fastball over to first. Scooter wouldn't have liked that. He let it fly, and that'll do it for the top of the second. 4-1 Boston. Baseball on Fox, presented by Taco Bell, where you can spice up the night. And brought to you by GM Truck Fest. Check out the widest selection of trucks and SUVs on the planet. By Mach 3 Turbo from Gillette. It's the world's best shave. And by Budweiser. Grab a cold, fresh Budweiser. It's game time. Welcome back to Fenway Park. Bottom of the second inning. And the top of the order will bat for Boston.
Joe, a lot of guys will come up and take a couple of practice swings. Johnny Damon, standing outside the box, actually practiced bunting toward first base.
Really?
Yeah. I don't think I've ever seen a player go through the motion of bunting. Jason Giambi obviously looking for it. He's playing tight at first.
First pitch, a ball, and now another one outside, 2-0. So Vazquez, when he got ahead on the count, gave up home runs, and now the last few hitters has been falling behind. There's a good fastball, 2 balls and a strike. Miller on deck, and Damon slaps it foul, 2-2.
Of all the swings in April, that's the most common. Too quick, cold weather, off the end of the bat.
And a little ringing in your hands on a cold 41-degree night at Fenway Park. Here comes a 2-2 pitch from Javier Vazquez. Just reaching out and poking it in the air to left for Matsui. 1 out. Our virtual manager question is this. For the Red Sox fans, who is your most hated Yankee? Bucky Dent, Aaron Boone, George Steinbrenner. For the Yankee fans, who will make the biggest impact? Rodriguez, Sheffield, Brown, or Vazquez? And you can vote by logging on to foxsports.com. The results will come later, so stay with us for that. That's through the left side, and Miller's 2 for 2.
Before Bill Miller's home run last night, a 3-run shot against Baltimore to tie the game. He was 0 for 20. So a 2-run shot tonight, and then a good job of hitting going the other way his second time up.
And now David Ortiz. How about this guy? I mean, what a year he had last season, and the way he pounded right-handed pitching. Slugging .654 last year as he takes low and away for ball 1.
One of the differences between the two teams, the players that they have to sign before the year's out. David Ortiz is one of them with the Red Sox.
You read my mind. I was just going to go down that list, and it is a pretty heavy list for the Boston Red Sox. A check swing comebacker to Vazquez. 1-6-3, and that'll do it for Boston in the second. We go to the third here at Fenway Park. A 4-run first inning for Boston. They lead it 4-1. With Bernie Williams, Enrique Wilson, and Kenny Lofton. Here in the third inning for New York, they find themselves trailing by 3. And Bernie Williams is hitting out of the number 8 spot, and the last time he did that was back in July of '95 against Minnesota. An appendectomy during the spring, so he's still trying to work his way back into game shape as he takes the ball up and away. You know, the highly anticipated debut of Scooter kind of came off with a hitch. The hitch being that nobody heard Scooter evidently out in TV land.
Laryngitis, perhaps?
Whatever it was, they have no idea what Scooter sounds like. So we'll get to play that again here in just a moment. Here comes a 1-ball, 1-strike pitch. Bernie Williams surprised to learn from Mike Everett, the home plate umpire, that that was a strike, and it's 1-2. Two and two. How would you gauge the mood and the intensity of the crowd here at Fenway Park tonight? Is it what you expected?
It wasn't before the game. I had anticipated, particularly with Rodriguez. I mean, he took batting practice. There was some.
Strike 3 called, and that's strikeout number 1 for Tim Wakefield.
There was some boos, but I thought it was a bit quiet before the game. Maybe it was because of Scooter. Who knows?
Well, let's listen to Scooter this time. Scooter.
Hey, fans, Scooter here. When I'm a knuckleball, I dance up, down, in, or out. I never know which way I'm going. Knock, 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 knock. But neither does the batter. A knuckleball isn't the fastest pitch. It kind of floats through the air. But it sure is hard to hit.
Here's a ground ball hit over to third off the bat of Enrique Wilson, and charging and making the play is Bill Miller. And that's out number 2. We'll go back and show you the last pitch.
Enrique Wilson, a switch hitter, batting right-handed against the knuckleballer Tim Wakefield. And because he's hitting right-handed, he doesn't get out of the box as well as he would hitting left-handed. Tops it. Good play by Bill Miller.
There's a hole at second base for the New York Yankees.
Yep.
And right now they have a combination of Enrique Wilson and Miguel Cairo. That's hard hit, and a nice stab on a backhand by Miller. It's a position they, I am sure, are looking at trying to upgrade, and Aaron Boone eventually may be a candidate for that spot. 4-1 after 2.5 in Boston. Javier Vazquez is back to work. Bottom of the third inning. Manny Ramirez is first up. He went after Pesky's pull down the right field line his first time up and got one that was ruled a home run. We're not used to working games at night without 6 umpires out there.
That's right.
And the first base umpire, Mark Wegner, called what should have been a live ball, a home run down that right field line way back in the first. So for Manny Ramirez, his second home run of the season, gives him 7 RBIs. 1 ball, 1 strike from Vazquez. Good fastball, strike 2. And it went just to the left of the pole and off the top of the padding. Good rip. Still 1-2. Ramirez has had 7 seasons of at least hitting 300, hitting 30 home runs, and driving in 100 RBIs. That's number 2 among active players to Barry Bonds, who has 8. The 1-2 pitch. Second strikeout for Vazquez. Let's go back to that first inning and the 2 home runs. First it was Billy Miller. Out over the bullpen in right. And then this little curler down the right field line. Off the bat of Manny Ramirez. The first one went 401 feet. The second 310. And if it takes 310 to get it out of here down that right field line, the second one actually went 309 feet and 10 inches. With one out, here is Millar, who wrapped a base hit off the Green Monster his first time. He's up on the count 2-0. Millar was kind of the inspirational leader last year for Grady Little's Red Sox. That whole cowboy up thing, which I'm proud to say you and I never uttered during the entire postseason last year. I checked the tapes and I'm proud of you. 2 balls and a strike.
Bringing it back, however, in 2004.
Hey, it's a fresh year. Ellis Burks on deck. After reading for Mel Gibson during the offseason, Johnny Damon decided he liked the look and would keep it. 2 balls, 2 strikes. I mean, you're talking about messing with boy band good looks. And I just never think that's a good idea. But Johnny likes it. 2-2 pitch. Vazquez is starting to get it cranked up. That's back-to-back strikeouts. How about more on the hair?
I'm just a hairy guy.
I'm not saying if I could, I wouldn't, for sure. I can't, so I never will.
Well, grow your hair like that, you mean?
Yeah, I can't do it. It's ridiculous.
Well, back in the 70s, I mean, that was not necessarily the beard. The hair wasn't quite that long. But back in the 70s, Johnny would not have been looked upon as anything unusual.
That's in for a strike.
But he does stand out right now.
Yeah, he does. I think back to kind of that Oscar Gamble look. Back in the 70s and early 80s with the, I mean, just big hair.
Yeah.
1 ball, 2 strikes on Ellis Burks. Off to an 0-63 start. The count evens, 2 balls, 2 strikes. Here's a guy who was with Boston from 87 to 92. Had great years in Colorado in the middle 90s. 96 at 40 home runs, drove in 128, and he's back. Hoping to get to the postseason with the Red Sox. He comes up empty here, and Vazquez strikes out the side here in the 3rd. 4th inning. All of that goes back out to center field. 4-1 Boston. Fox presented by Taco Bell, brought to you by DirecTV, 12 million fans and counting. By Levitra, ask your doctor about it today. Levitra, when it counts. By AmeriQuest Mortgage, the company that knows you are more. And by Miller. Vote Miller for president of beers. Good call. Right up the middle, and Jeter is on to start the 4th inning for New York. So the Yankees hope that will get them going here in the 4th against Tim Wakefield, who's allowed only 1 hit, the home run by Posada. The best view of tonight's Red Sox game being brought to you by Hood, the maker of Hood Carb Countdown, a dairy solution for those counting their carbs. Here's Alex Rodriguez. 346 career home runs. He's 28 years old. MVP from a bad Texas team a year ago. If A-Rod hits 5 more home runs before July 27th, when he turns 29, he will have the most ever hit before a 29th birthday in the history of the big leagues. The 0-1, 0-2. And you look at a list of the most career home runs before the 29th birthday, and it's Ken Griffey Jr. on top. Here's a 0-2. Second strikeout for Wakefield. And the fans here get an extra kick out of that.
I think not only that he struck out, but how he struck out. That ball was about 9 inches outside. As you trace the arc of that knuckleball, floating down and out of the strike zone.
Giambi now. Jason flying to right his first time up. The left side of the infield absolutely wide open for Jason Giambi.
Pokey Reese, because Jeter is on at first base, is a little closer to second base than he was with nobody on when Giambi first hit. That's because of the double play possibility.
1 ball, 1 strike. How about where Bellhorn, the second baseman, playing?
Short right.
Can't even get him in the picture.
He's almost behind David Ortiz.
I was going to say, he's in such a weird spot because he's basically standing right behind where Ortiz would play, maybe a few feet over. But when the pitch is delivered and Ortiz comes off the bag, Bellhorn's basically backing him up. 2-2.
Wakefield will change speeds on his knuckleball. He threw that one a little harder to Giambi.
I have just heard my first Balco chant of the season. That's what this crowd was chanting with Giambi at the plate, with the investigation into that company, being asked to testify and testifying before a federal grand jury during the offseason.
Last December.
Runner goes, 3-2 pitch is hit foul. Giambi, one of 3 in the big leagues to testify. Sheffield, his teammate with the Yankees, and Barry Bonds are the other 2. It's important to note that they haven't been charged with anything, but I think with the public sentiment and all of the attention on it, it's obvious that changes will be made in the testing as ball 4 is down and in to Giambi to put 2 on with 1 out. The government involved in it. Not only the message that it sends to kids, but what it's done to the record book, theoretically.
And the seriousness of the charges certainly pointed when the President of the United States includes it in his State of the Union message.
Sheffield now with 2 on, 1 out. Takes a ball high. An opportunity here for New York with a tying run at the plate. It seems like the Major League Baseball Players Association and the ownership side are starting to come closer to an agreement to get more serious about testing for steroids, and it's obvious that it's a problem in the game and it needs to be taken out of the game. As Sheffield hits one back here, 1 ball, 1 strike. It's also going to be impossible, at least in my opinion, to go back in time and start looking at different records and body types and saying, oh, this guy was clearly on it, this guy wasn't. Asterisks and everything else that have been talked about. At some point, the testing procedures will change, and I would imagine will move on from that point, but to try to go back in time and start speculating as to who was and who wasn't taking steroids is impossible.
Even some people talking about Mark McGwire in 1998 and how that could have been steroid induced, but his was the androstenedione, which was an over-the-counter substance at the time.
That's outside to Sheffield, 2 balls and a strike.
So if there was regulation possible at the time, it should have been done by the government.
And one other thing that's never talked about, it's not just hitters that have taken steroids in the big leagues. There are pitchers as well. That's hammered, but hard enough to Reese for a 6-4-3 inning-ending double play. From Reese to Bellhorn and on to first. We go to the bottom of the 4th. Wakefield is doing his thing. 4-1 Boston. Major League Baseball on Fox, presented by Taco Bell, brought to you by Verizon. We never stop working for you.
Can you hear me now? Good.
Guys everywhere. They're all here tonight with the bright lights on at Fenway Park, and a strike is in at the knees to Mark Bellhorn. Bellhorn, then Mirabelli, then Pokey Reese, the bottom 3 in the lineup. Vazquez has struck out the last 3. One ball, one strike. The Yankees payroll $183 million. The Red Sox payroll $125 million. The top 2 teams in payroll squaring off. 1 ball, 2 strikes on Bellhorn.
Only 20 years ago.
We'd be good dance partners, don't you think?
Yes.
Stutter, step it. You talk, no, you talk, no, you. Here's a 1-2 pitch, 2-2.
20 years ago, the top payroll in the major leagues was $14 million.
Wow. That is the top end of the list. The lowest payroll is in Milwaukee. Here's a 2-2. Well hit into right. Sheffield to his left is there. 1 out. Our GMC flashback here in the 4th inning at Fenway. One-game playoff in 1978, and that was our good buddy and your former teammate Bill White on the call. With 1 out, Mirabelli hits it into deep right center field. Sheffield back. It's another home run for the Red Sox. 5-1.
That have been hit tonight, that was the most impressive, because normally in April a ball does not carry well in the Northeast. Doug Mirabelli proving that theory wrong. That one kept going. Opposite field home run for Doug Mirabelli.
3 home runs tonight for Boston. Here's Pokey Reese. That's back here. You know, the Red Sox, as we look at this home run again from Mirabelli, have some pretty big questions facing them this season. Not only the free agent situation at the end of the year, but how about within the year as they celebrate in the dugout? Not only the injuries to Garcia Parra and Trot Nixon, but Boston has to really be concerned, whether they want to admit it or not, with 2 of the first 3 starts by Pedro Martinez this season.
I don't think there is any question about it.
Last night getting knocked around by Baltimore and blowing 2 3-run leads. A game the Red Sox eventually lost in extra innings. But the velocity is down. And he just looks like a different type pitcher right now.
87, 88 mile an hour fastball. A pitcher that changes off the change. Last night, time and time again, his sequences 4 or 5 change-ups in a row. Now keep in mind that Pedro Martinez, in my experience, Joe, is perhaps the most resourceful pitcher I have ever seen. There's that home run pitch to Mirabelli. Out over the plate. The opposite field home run, the 3rd of the night for the Red Sox.
Ground ball to the right side. Giambi flips, and Vazquez with a barehanded grab ends the inning, but not before another long ball by Mirabelli. 5-1. Back after this from your local Fox station. Fenway Park, and the Yankees have to get it going. Only 2 hits. 2 errors back in the first, and a 5-1 Boston lead. The Red Sox banging 3 home runs tonight off Javier Vazquez and Jorge Posada, who has one of the 2 New York hits. The home run back in the second leads it off and takes a strike. Just to finish the point about Pedro Martinez, as you watch Wakefield dance it to the plate, if the fastball is only in the high 80s or touching 90 miles an hour, you don't have that variance and velocity with the changeup.
Right.
That devastating changeup that he can throw really with any count in any situation. Guys can sit on that more, and he becomes a different type pitcher.
They're saying last half inning that Pedro Martinez, the most resourceful pitcher that I've ever seen, but he will be forced to use all his resources if his arm strength isn't any better the rest of this year, because right now he is not throwing the ball hard.
Here's an 0-2 pitch. Posada just got a piece. Does anybody realize how productive a hitter Jorge Posada has been? The most runs batted in from 2000 on. Among catchers across the big leagues, he has 391. Piazza 344 is number 2. Out of the way of that pitch, and the count 1 ball 2 strikes.
More than Mike Piazza, more than Javi Lopez, who's off to a great start with the Baltimore Orioles.
5-1 Boston here in the 5th inning, and Posada fights it off.
Checking for hairline fractures.
That bat glistening with pine tar as he waits for a 1-2 pitch. And he's in a pretty good battle here with Tim Wakefield.
That's a different style of Posada hitting too. He's almost laying the bat flat and bringing it up to the hitting style as you take a look at Jorge's numbers since 2000.
Not only the RBIs, but the doubles, the home runs.
That looks like a Don Mattingly influence right there.
To the right side, Bellhorn. 1 away. Sunday, the world's best drivers return to Fox for NASCAR Nextel Cup racing in the Advanced Auto Parts 500. Defending champion Jeff Gordon tried to defend his title at one of NASCAR's toughest tracks. 17 weeks of high-speed thrills and excitement continue Sunday at 1 Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific, only on Fox. And there is Don Mattingly talking to Posada, and here's that different look at his approach.
It's almost from a flat bat up to a stance. Don Mattingly, who by the way turned 43 years old in 4 days, the new hitting instructor of the Yankees, and a guy who probably received the biggest ovation on opening day at Yankee Stadium.
Diving try by Reese, but he missed it by a few feet. It's a base hit for Hideki Matsui.
Usually when you think of a shortstop named Reese playing against the Yankees, you don't think of Pokey, you think of Pee Wee. But yet another Reese. And what an athlete and an acrobat he is. Very few guys can make that change from second to shortstop because they don't have as strong a throwing arm. Pokey does.
It's dangerous to dive when you got that big hunk of junk sitting in your cheek. 1 on, 1 out. Bernie Williams rolls it over foul. Mentioned Don Mattingly, and for those of you who aren't aware of it, he retired after the '95 season when the Yankees got that taste of postseason, but prior to the guy standing behind him taking over in '96 and that title, their World Series win, winning 4 in a row against the Atlanta Braves. That gets away, and Hideki Matsui will go down to second.
Woes of a catcher that catches knuckleballs. 8 wild pitches last year, and the first one of the season for Wakefield. That actually a pass ball, but
just a different category.
If official scorers knew how difficult it was to handle that thing, but Doug subscribing to Bob Uecker's theory on that one. He waited until it stopped rolling and picked it up.
Hall of Famer Bob Uecker, who's in the Baseball Hall of Fame and the announcers wing.
There's only one Bob Uecker.
Yankees trying to get something going. They get a base hit from Matsui. He goes down to second on the pass ball, and a 1-2 pitch to Bernie Williams. Crowd wanted it. It's ball 2.
You almost see Mirabelli trying to relax his hands, and that, as much as anything, if you're trying to hit a knuckleball or catch a knuckleball, is what you have to do. Relax your hands and wait.
Through the right side for a base hit. Matsui will come to the plate. Millar kicks it in right, and it's a 3-run game. Millar had virtually no chance anyway of getting Matsui, but all of the drama left when he booted the ball in right field. It's a 3-run ball game.
See Bernie Williams waiting.
He wouldn't even try to throw.
No. Matsui scoring without a play. You can see waiting as long as you can, and by doing that, whether you catch it or hit it, you wait until the knuckleball develops. It's very easy to go out and try to hit it too soon.
That really was the exact sentence, according to Aaron Boone, that Joe Torre told him before he went up for that 11th inning at bat against Tim Wakefield in Game 7.
That's right. Wait as long as you can to pull the trigger. And he pulled it.
Enrique Wilson now 0 for 1, bounced out to third his first time up. Even he's laying the bat flat on his shoulder. So I guess the surprising thing is these are big league hitters who are actually listening to a hitting coach. As Mattingly takes over those chores, and we look at the size of the lead over at first base, and I think the flag of Belarus, if I'm not mistaken. Slow roller to the right side, and Wakefield will lob it over to first. 2 out.
Belarus will proudly be represented in 4 months in August, the Olympics in Athens, Greece.
And I have no idea.
I have no idea either, but I'm just going along with you.
Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Kenny Lofton now with a runner at second, 2 out. I mean, there are other scores going on. You know, typically we're doing these games at night. I'm so dumb. I don't even remember that this is the 16th of April. And I mean, the rest of baseball's in full swing as Lofton takes ball 1.
You know what happens a lot of times, a knuckleball will move so much your knees buckle. That's what happened to Enrique Wilson.
Looked like he was on a Stairmaster.
It did.
2-0 on Lofton. Just to give you an idea, though, the Yankees lead the AL East. The White Sox are up in the AL Central. And Oakland is out in front in the AL West. But no team is hotter than the world champion Florida Marlins,
who finally gave up some runs tonight.
Off the end of the bat, Bellhorn has to hurry, and he got Lofton by half a step. The Yankees get a run. Bernie Williams gets his first RBI of the season after 4.5. It's 5-2 Boston. First pitch is wide, and we start the bottom of the 5th inning with Bill Miller, who's 2 for 2. A 2-run home run his first time up, a single, and then was erased in a double play hit into by Ortiz. 2-0 from Vazquez. Out in front of it, and he rips it through the right side. Bill Miller is now 3 for 3, and with 1 on and nobody out, we go up and check in with Kenny Albert.
Thanks very much, Joe. Last year, the Red Sox added the seats over the Green Monster out in left field. That is part of the ongoing renovations here at Fenway Park. The new addition this year, these right field roof seats, capacity 400, and they even used some of the brick from the original Fenway construction back in 1912. Joe?
All right, Kenny, thanks. And not only here at Fenway Park, but at a ballpark near you. It's amazing how architects can find new ways to try to fit new seats into a ballpark, to try to find new money.
And still have the stability that is required in this ballpark that was built in 1912.
That's ball 1 to Ortiz.
All Bostonians know the story. The Boston Globe was in April of 1912 when this ballpark was built. And it took, it's actually in the right-hand, lower right-handed corner of the Boston Globe because the Titanic had sunk. And obviously the Titanic was headlines. The 1912 world champion Red Sox, who won 5 of the first 15 World Series ever played.
On 2-0, ball 3 from Vazquez, and then there was a major shift. The oldest ballparks. This is the oldest. Wrigley Field, 1914, Yankee Stadium. Dodger Stadium, then Shea Stadium on the list of the top 5. Here's a 3-0 Ortiz is taking, and it's strike 1. Donovan Osborne, longtime St. Louis Cardinal, out of the game for a couple of years, getting loose in the bullpen for New York. A wide strike, 3-2. Manny Ramirez on deck. Miller dives back into first. See if the Red Sox start the runner here with a full count on Ortiz.
Talking to Terry Francona before the game, and you get the feeling that no team in the majors runs less than the Red Sox. But with 3-2 and a 3-run lead, a good time to run.
He's going. Ortiz strikes out, and the throw down, double play. Strike him out, throw him out, 2 out.
Ortiz, because of that 3-1 pitch that was called a strike, perhaps went out of the strike zone to swing and miss at that one. And Miller an easy out at second base.
So Miller is erased after that leadoff hit. Vazquez gets his 5th strikeout. And Manny Ramirez is waiting for another pitch from Vazquez. A bender in there for strike 1. The Yankees in the 6th inning will have Jeter, A-Rod, and Jason Giambi. Hard hit right at Jeter. And after a leadoff hit, strike him out, throw him out, double play, and then the ground out. Inning number 6 at Fenway Park. Boston on top 5-2. Baseball on Fox, presented by Taco Bell, brought to you by Advance Auto Parts. We're ready in advance. And by the cola that makes everything better. Pepsi, it's the cola. Hood, America's dairy expert since 1846. Proud to provide these stunning pictures from high above Fenway Park. And happy to be part of bringing you another edition in this great rivalry between the Red Sox and Yankees. Heart of the order for New York as they trail by 3, 5-2 Boston. It'll be Jeter, A-Rod, and Giambi. Derek 1 out of 2. Pretty good rip at that pitch. 1 ball, 1 strike. Shoddy defense early by the New York Yankees. An error by Giambi, an error by Jeter. 2 unearned runs in the 1st inning of the 4 scored by Boston. And the Red Sox lead by 3. Wakefield doing it again to the Yankees. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Time for today's Miller High Life trivia question. Which Sox player returned to Boston 69 years ago today and was the highlight in his team's win? It's kind of a trick question. Here's a 1-2 pitch. Jeter rolls it over to Bill Miller. Wide throw, but Ortiz twinkle toes over at first base, makes the play, 1 out. That'll bring in Alex Rodriguez.
Derek Jeter, the captain of the Yankees, and in an odd move, after the contract was turned down by the Players Association, Alex Rodriguez, he was named captain of the Texas Rangers and then traded about 10 days later.
With 1 out, nobody on. Rodriguez grounds to short. Ball eats up Pokey Reese. Safe. Rodriguez hustling on a routine ground ball, and he's now standing at first.
And because he ran hard out of the box, the momentary bobble by Reese fails to get Rodriguez. However, on that first replay, it looked like he was out.
Wakefield thought he was out.
I thought he was out. Ball in the glove. Foot's not on the bag yet. Yankees get a break.
Not only is he safe, they've ruled that a hit.
What?
They've ruled that a hit. Giambi takes the ball down and in.
Can I do that again? What?
They've ruled that a hit.
Boy. That's the type of ball you may get as a home official score.
Well, he was almost with the Red Sox.
Well, that's true. That's true.
2 balls, no strikes on Giambi. I said it at the beginning, whether it's New York or Boston, and the Red Sox had a chance to get him. Los Angeles, Chicago, some major market, a better team than the Texas Rangers. Now Texas can get better. Major League Baseball is better off with Alex Rodriguez than center stage. On the inside corner, 2 balls and a strike. He's the game's best player, a good-looking, articulate guy. And while he's played with that last-place club in Texas, nobody's really seen him play for the last couple of years. On 2 balls and a strike. A little high, 3-1. Giambi has walked and flied out. The Yankees trying to generate offense here in the 6th inning, and a knuckleball is a strike, full count.
And a good one. Saw Bill Miller try to steal second base, 3-2 on Ortiz, but the Red Sox had a 3-run lead. I don't think Rodriguez will be running here. Cautious lead at first.
Ball 4. And with A-Rod taking off and running down to second, we hear from Alex about how close he was to becoming a member of this Boston team.
No question. I mean, we had a done deal pretty much, and then we ran into a wall. But you know, I'm very, very happy it turned out the way it did. And, you know, things work out for a reason. And now I'm here in New York playing against the Red Sox. I think it's going to be a great summer for baseball. I think the rivalry is going to be, you know, perhaps better than ever.
This is the start of it tonight for 2004. First of 19 meetings between these two teams. And now Sheffield, one of the key players that the Yankees brought in after going through a World Series in which they did not hit. Sheffield has been just about automatic for gaudy numbers at the end of the season year after year. Kevin Brown watching, and that's foul outside third. 19 meetings this year during the regular season. 19 last year, and how close was it? Not only one game separating the season series. The Yankees won the ALCS 4-3, and with that Boone home run, as you pointed out, Tim, 30 runs to the Red Sox 29 during that ALCS.
Going into extra innings last year in Game 7 of the playoffs. During the LCS, the Red Sox had scored 29 runs, and the Yankees had scored 29 runs.
Runners on here at first and second, 1 out. Tying run at the plate, and 3 balls and a strike on Sheffield.
Dangerous situation for Tim Wakefield right here. He's got to throw the knuckleball. You have a guy with a good eye and a better bat at the plate.
How quick are those hands?
Oh, man. Felipe Alou, I was thinking, used to call a young Rondell White thunder hands. And had Gary Sheffield played for Felipe, I think that saying would have applied to Gary Sheffield also.
To have the ability to waggle the bat the way he does and still get around on inside fastballs, turn on pitches.
Keep them fair.
It's amazing. Runners are going. Swing and a miss and a throw down. 2 out. Are you kidding? Alex Rodriguez was running. And he is tagged out for the 2nd out of the inning, and that cannot happen for the Yankees trailing by 3.
No way. And there will never be a steal sign from the manager to a runner on at second base. So Rodriguez running on his own, and that is a bad, bad play.
Got him on the inside corner, and did things just turn around? The Yankees sniffing a rally. It was snuffed out. Rodriguez trying to swipe third. Bad idea. Didn't work. It's still 5-2.
Alec Rodriguez, a very, very poor base running play, trying to steal third with a count 3-1 on Gary Sheffield. 3 runs down. If the 3-1 pitch is a strike, you're going to be going 3-2. Then it's excusable, not 3-1. And Rodriguez knew it.
No doubt the case of a guy trying to do too much.
Yep.
Trying to make a statement here at Fenway Park, where he's been booed since he walked into the joint. 2 balls and a strike on Kevin Millar. Forcing it and forcing it at the wrong time. On 2 balls and a strike, Millar hits it to A-Rod. 1 out. Fans, you can support your team and look good doing it. Get your own Yankees Red Sox Greatest Rivalries t-shirt or DVD by calling 1-888-MLB-SHOP or on MLB.com. Each only $19.95 plus shipping and handling. So with 1 out and nobody on in the bottom of the 6th inning, here's Ellis Burks. And that's crushed into left field. Matsui, it's over his head and off the scoreboard. A 1-out ringing single by Ellis Burks.
Both singles off the monster tonight have been hammered. The first by Kevin Millar, the second by Ellis Burks.
One on, 1 out. I know you want to keep singing that.
Clank, clank,
no,
clank.
I knew you were
No more trolleys.
Bellhorn has walked and lined out. Now Stottlemyre on the phone to the bullpen. Two 2-0. That's Paul Quantrill, who's been a part of this rivalry, but from the other side. He and Tom Gordon, 2 additions to the bullpen for the Yankees. Both formerly with Boston. 2-0 pitch. 2 balls and a strike. A 4-run first inning for Boston, and then a solo home run by Mirabelli in the 4th. We will answer our Miller High Life trivia question here in just a moment. Again, that question: which Sox player returned to Boston 69 years ago today and was the highlight in his team's win? Here's a 2-1. 2-2. I'll give you the answer after the next pitch. That's low, full count. The answer: Babe Ruth with the Boston Braves. April 16th, 1935, hit a home run and a single off Carl Hubbell. Runner stays put. 3-2 pitch, base hit to right field. Ellis Burks will turn and go to third. The throw there by Sheffield too late. And a great job of Vazquez backing up to save a run.
Outstanding base running by Ellis Burks, knowing that you have a deep right field here at Fenway Park. Gary Sheffield respecting the power of Bellhorn, and Burks put his head down and went to third. The throw errant by Sheffield, but you're right, Joe. Vazquez made a terrific play backing up right there. Saved a run momentarily.
So it's fundamental baseball, but how many times do you see a pitcher hang his head?
Yeah.
On the short end of a 5-2 game. Gives up back-to-back hits here in the 6th inning. He knows he's about finished, and yet he still went over, backed up the play, and saved a run. But he may be throwing his last pitches in this game. Quantrill is getting loose. And now he's joined by Gabe White, the left-hander. They're going to leave Vazquez in, it appears, to deal with Mirabelli, who homered his last time up. One ball, no strikes. Vazquez falling behind hitters. And just trying to hang on now here in the 6th inning. 1-0 pitch.
Yankee infield in double play depth. However, on a short roller toward third or first, the corner infielders do have the options of coming home.
Two 2-0. Last time up, an opposite field post. Mirabelli in the lineup because Wakefield is on the mound. He is his catcher. Veritek, who is a rock behind the plate for the Boston Red Sox and as valuable as anybody they have, catches on the other days. A switch hitting catcher with power, and he is a free agent at the end of the year as we look at the trajectory of the home run hit by Mirabelli, 385 feet back in the fourth. Here's a 3-0 from Vazquez, swinging on 3-0 and a base hit into left. Burks will score. Bellhorn to third. They hold him there. An RBI double, and it's 6-2 Boston.
That's the most surprising swing of the game right there. Allowing your 8th place hitter to swing away, even though you do have the lead. And Doug Mirabelli took care of the fastball and the inside part to double in a run. Second RBI of the game.
And they also took care of the end of the night for Javier Vazquez. That'll do it for the Yankee starter. Vazquez is gone. 6-2 Boston, and they're looking for more in the 6th. First pitch hacking is Pokey Reese. Vazquez is finished and Paul Quantrill takes over. Vazquez goes 5 1/3, allows 6 runs, 9 hits, 4 earned runs so far, but he's responsible for the runners on at second and third. Only 1 out, and the infield is in. Pokey Reese has 2 RBIs this season. I tell you, Paul Quantrill does not have electric stuff, as they like to say, but this guy gets a lot of outs and is going to be such a valuable part of this Yankee bullpen this season. This is a big upgrade, in my opinion, for the Yankees.
And Tom Gordon, too, who is throwing like he did the days that he was with the Red Sox.
On 0-2. It's out of play. The Yankees no longer have Jeff Nelson. They reacquired last year. And now the trainer will come out along with Joe Torre and check on Paul Quantrill.
Paul Quantrill has appeared in over 80 games the last 3 years, with 89 appearances last year. about a guy who thrives on work. And on that last pitch, Joe Torre and Steve Donahue, the assistant trainer, picking up something, raced out to the mound. He appears to be all right. Most in the majors last year with 89 appearances.
Runners on at second and third, and that's to the shortstop. Jeter throws home, and they have the runner Bellhorn hung up. The rundown handled well by Posada. No extra throws, and with that, Pokey Reese has to remain at first, 2 out.
That's a good play by the Red Sox, however. Second and third and 1 out. You make them execute. Go on a ground ball, even though you don't have good speed on it at third base. Going on contact. You could do that with a 4-run lead. But you're right, Posada running it back. He did make the tag on Mirabelli. But now I think Joe Torre's going to make the move, and Gabe White's in there.
He is. Quantrill finished. He gets his man. Gabe White coming in with Damon coming up. Welcome back to Major League Baseball on Fox, presented by Taco Bell. Think outside the box. We'll help bring you this game on a Friday night from Boston. 6-2 Red Sox, bottom of the 6th, first and third, 2 out. And Johnny Damon dealing with Gabe White, the lefty. Check on Reese. Paul Quantrill leaving after getting Pokey Reese on the fielder's choice. He had a minor collision when the Yankees were playing over in Japan. And I don't know if he tweaked something, the knee or what it was, but it was okay to continue and got the out as Damon gets out of the way of pitch number 1 from Gabe White. Gabe White was acquired last year by the Yankees, and when they got him, Gabe was on the disabled list with a tear in his groin. They got him knowing that he would eventually be healthy, and he was active during the postseason. The crowd doesn't like him calling Posada out to the mound. Johnny Damon so far is 0 for 3. Reached on an error back in the first, an error by Giambi. That was followed by a 2-run home run by Bill Miller. A 1-0. Into left field, not well hit. Matsui puts it away. So the Red Sox get 1 and leave a couple. They've stranded 4 tonight after 6-2 Boston.
The rivalry between Boston and New York is tough, but the wise guys are even tougher. Tomorrow, find out which town has the most dangerous mobsters.
Whitey is vicious, and he would kill you in a second.
America's Most Wanted at 9/8 Central tomorrow on Fox.
When they work on this man's car, it has to be right. For him, brake components are a matter of life or death. A well-maintained engine gives him an edge in gas mileage. Perfect alignment makes his tires go farther. A well-balanced suspension gives him better handling. Who does he trust his car to?
Car's all set, Mr. Craven.
VIP Auto Centers. The highest quality parts, tires, and service at the absolute lowest price.
Hey, my wife and kids ride in this car. I wouldn't trust it to anyone else.
At Quirk Chevrolet, save up to $10,000 on Chevy Silverado. Chevy Silverado, like a rock. Savings up to $10 grand only from the guy who wants you to wear a gold bow tie. Quirk Chevrolet gets you from 0 to 60 in record time, with financing as low as 0% for up to 60 months on Maine's #1 selling truck. Up to $10,000 in savings, down to 0% financing. Think you can get a better deal than Quirk Chevrolet? Then you don't know Jack.
Make your special event sparkle with a touch of elegance from Blue Hill Limousine. We provide the area's finest limousine and town car service at the most affordable rates. Although we specialize in weddings, graduations, and proms, a professionally chauffeured limousine turns any event into a special memory that will last a lifetime. And for that spectacular finale, Blue Hill Pyrotechnics offers custom private fireworks displays for any and every occasion. Blue Hill Limousine and Pyrotechnics, making special memories more memorable.
From the dawn of time, there have been traditions. And mankind has always known it's just not a mix without the checks. Now there's a whole new spin on caramel. New Chex Mix Caramel Crunch. With a salty sweet caramel taste and new crunchy caramel swirls. New Chex Mix Caramel Crunch. Get into the mix.
Jorge Posada's first step for New York. It'll be Posada, Matsui, and Bernie Williams. If anybody gets on, Enrique Wilson against Tim Wakefield. Tim Wakefield, in his personal history against the Yankees, has not pitched well here at Fenway Park. There's a strike to Posada.
Luis Sojo, the third base coach of the Yankees, talking to Alex Rodriguez. Remember, there is no sign. They're talking about that play at third base where Rodriguez was thrown out, with the Yankees trailing by 3 runs on a 3-1 count to Gary Sheffield. Sheffield, by the way, to make that even worse, represented the potential tying run.
On 1-1, Posada takes the ball, and that helped Wakefield get out of a jam last inning in the 6th. And as a starting pitcher against the Yankees at Fenway Park in his career during the regular season, he carried a 6.21 ERA in 7 starts and a 2-5 record against the Yankees here. But one out after another picked up by Wakefield, and he gets Posada to start the 7th. Our GMC flashback 6 months ago. Bottom of the 11th inning, first batter, and Aaron Boone sent the Yankees on to the World Series, only to lose, the Yankees would, in 6 games to the Florida Marlins. Boone, prior to that at bat, had been 2 for 16 with 1 RBI in the series. Didn't even start that game, came in late, got that at bat, and was a hero for that one swing. That's on the inside corner. 2 balls and a strike. Three and 1. It's a different looking bullpen this year for the Boston Red Sox, mainly because of the guy anchoring it, Keith Folt. With the A's a year ago. That's the 3rd walk of the night, handed out by Wakefield, 1 on, 1 out. You voted, and here are the results. Who is your most hated Yankee? Steinbrenner gets 75% of your votes.
That was predictable, I think, for Red Sox fans. Bucky Dent, statute of limitations has run out on him.
Who will make the biggest impact? On the other side, A-Rod, 45%. Seacrest out.
Also predictable.
1 on, 1 out, and a strike to Bernie Williams. over for strike 2. There's Scott Williamson, who picked up saves in all 3 of the Red Sox wins during the last ALCS against the Yankees. On 0-2. That's low. Really, that was a reason why, Tim, in that 8th inning with Pedro Martinez pitching, there was so much agony over the decision that was made by Grady Little to leave Pedro Martinez in the game because of the way the bullpen was working. Finally, by the end of the year, last year and in the playoffs for Boston, that pitch barely missed. It's 2-2. We showed you that quote by George Steinbrenner, which only added fuel to the fire with the off-season war of words between John Henry, who is the owner here with the Boston Red Sox, and George Steinbrenner. The 2-2 pitch. Still 2-2, and Bernie Williams had a pretty good rip at that pitch.
This rivalry between the Red Sox and the Yankees has really never gone off the field until this past fall. It was never like that when the Yankees owned this ball club. Haywood Sullivan owning this club, but it got very personal between the owners, and that certainly escalated the fervor, if that's the word, between these two towns and teams and players and owners.
3 balls, 2 strikes. Bernie Williams trying to get something going. A 1-out walk to Hideki Matsui. Pinch hitter in the on-deck circle is Tony Clark. Matsui stays put. Ball 4 puts 2 on for New York. Let's check in with Jeannie Zelasco for a game break.
Everybody's walking. We're walking down memory lane tonight, so let's revisit Wrigley Field. This time no Bartman, no Marlins, no managers. Yes, both were tossed, and the Cubs were down 10-9 to the Reds in the 9th, but Sammy Sosa and Moises Alou took advantage of the wind blowing directly out. Cubs win, just 152 more to go to October.
All right, Jeannie, thanks. Good to hear your voice, and another victory for the Cubs, who are getting on a roll. Tony Clark comes off the bench and bats for Enrique Wilson. That's ball 1. Dave Wallace, the pitching coach for the Red Sox, will make the slow walk out. And what do you tell, if you're a pitching coach, what do you tell a knuckleball pitcher when he's in trouble and he's starting to throw pitches out of the strike zone?
You tell him that I'm out here to give the guys in the bullpen a chance to warm up. It's the middle of April. It's cold. They need a little more time. I mean, Wakefield knows that. I'm only kidding. Williamson's ready. But another interesting, Tony Clark, a switch hitter, also batting right-handed against Tim Wakefield. Enrique Wilson, the player for whom he is pinch hitting, also hit right-handed as a switch hitter against the right-handed throwing Wakefield. Another reason you might want to do that in this ballpark is to take advantage of the monster in left field.
Ruben Sierra standing and watching as a 1-0 pitch is blocked somehow by Mirabelli. 2-0. That's got to be awkward. If you're catching a typical pitcher, you can, I would imagine, as a catcher, gauge when a pitch is going to be in the dirt. These pitches move so late that Mirabelli can't even shift his weight. He's just stabbing him.
Well, that's why you wait and wait and wait for the knuckleball to develop.
A fastball on 2-0. It's 2-1. Tim Wakefield's a guy who, back in '93 with the Pirates, threw 172 pitches in a game, so the pitch count doesn't matter. Back-to-back fastballs, and he caught Tony Clark napping 2-2. Two down. Strikeout number 4 for Wakefield.
After missing with 2 knuckleballs to 2 fastballs, and now back to the knuckleball, and that gets Tony Clark.
And brings in Kenny Lofton.
Key out for Wakefield and the Red Sox in this ball game.
So if you're Tony Clark, you go sit down and you think, wait a minute. I took 2 76-mile-an-hour fastballs and swung at that thing?
Yep.
Strike 1 on Lofton. Matsui at second with Bernie Williams on at first. Both threw walks in this 7th inning. 2 on, 2 out. 6-2 Boston. 1-1. A-Rod in the hole. Derek Jeter is on deck. To the right side. Ortiz flips to Reese, and the inning is over. 2 walks. Wakefield gets around him. Time to stretch at Fenway. Red Sox fans having fun. 6-2 Boston.
If you want the benefits of refinancing, you have no choice but to stress over a long application, right? Wrong. AmeriQuest Mortgage gives you a choice and a personal loan specialist to handle just about everything. With 2 decades of experience, AmeriQuest knows how to offer you the no-stress home loan. The time is right, so call AmeriQuest now at 1-800-295-3645 or go to AmeriQuest.com. Call AmeriQuest, the company that knows you are more.
Can I tell you a secret? My man takes Levitra. Let's just say he notices a difference in the experience. Like, we should do this more often difference. And why Levitra? Levitra helps improve erectile quality for men with ED. For my guy, Levitra works fast. And it gives him the quality response that he wants, time and again. It's why he counts on Levitra.
Levitra is only for men healthy enough for sexual activity. Do not take Levitra if you take nitrates for chest pains or alpha blockers for prostate problems or high blood pressure, as this may cause an unsafe drop in blood pressure. Side effects may include headache, flushing, and stuffy or runny nose. In the rare case an erection lasts for more than 4 hours, seek immediate medical attention.
My man takes Levitra. It's about the quality. And for him, Levitra works. Just look at that smile. Talk to your doctor today. Levitra. Quality when it counts.
At the Bud Light Institute, we're proud that our beer is made with all natural ingredients and is low in carbs. So few, in fact, it's easy to burn the carbs in one Bud Light. That's why we've created the Mini Treadmill 2010. Use your treadmill at home, on the town, even in the gym. And it stores conveniently away till you need to use it again. Order yours today. Fresh, smooth, real. Bud Light, it's all here.
Major League Baseball on Fox, presented by Taco Bell, brought to you by Bud Light. Fresh, smooth, real. It's all here. After the Yankees pinch hit for Enrique Wilson with Tony Clark, Miguel Cairo comes in and takes over at second base. And here's Bill Miller, who's had a nice night. Takes a fastball from Gabe White, ball 1. There's Cairo, who last year was a bench player for the St. Louis Cardinals. Miller's 3 for 3 with 2 singles and a 2-run homer. 2-0.
Talked about last year with Cairo. Well, Bill Miller showing tonight why last year he led the American League in hitting.
The 2-0 pitch. 3-0. And a guy who, within 1 game, Hit a grand slam right-handed and a grand slam left-handed. Hadn't been done before. 3-0. 3-1. And the bat he used is now in Cooperstown, New York.
It's the Texas Rangers.
The 3-1. A leadoff walk. Monday, May 10th. Get ready for the next great thing in sports entertainment as Max Kellerman comes to Fox Sports Net. Max won't pull any punches as he goes toe-to-toe with the biggest names in sports 5 nights a week. It's the premiere of IMAX. Monday, May 10th, only on Fox Sports Net. Here's Max Kellerman. Good seats here at Fenway Park. And now time called as the beach ball has been retrieved and is now back in action down the right field line. David Ortiz. Miller on base for the 4th time tonight. That's foul.
David Ortiz with one big hit after another last year. And he has one walk-off home run this year for the Red Sox. 2-run home run against the Blue Jays last Sunday.
That was in extra innings in a game that Curt Schilling started. Got a no decision, obviously, giving up a game-tying home run. Schilling is scheduled to pitch game 2 of this series tomorrow.
Against Mike Mussina.
Here's a 1-1 pitch. Ortiz pops it up. Matsui takes it 1 out. And here comes Joe Torre. And another pitching change with Ramirez and Millar coming up. We will see another pop out from behind that bullpen door out in right field. Gabe White is finished.
Looks like Tom Gordon.
Coming in, taking over in the 7th. 1 on, 1 out. Jorge DePaula takes over for the New York Yankees. The numbers this season, he's made a start that came on the 10th of April against the White Sox and suffered the loss. Out of the bullpen for New York, runner at first, 1 out, and here's Manny Ramirez. In for a strike. 6-2 Boston. Ramirez 1 out of 3 tonight with a home run his first time up.